All you have to do is close your eyes and listen.
Welcome to episode 43 of TSGG Chat. I'm your host, Kevin Bork. With me this week is Kailey. Hey, Kailey.
Hey, everybody.
Brett.
Hey.
And Brennon.
Okay. Good
Any
start
words
to the show.
Okay.
Moving on from him.
There.
What do you got?
Nothing.
For us, Here's one
Good to be here. Okay,
There you go.
excellent.
Yeah, all right. That
Even
took a lot
a
out.
high.
Y'all know where I really want to be.
My God. This week we're talking about the results for the Sekiro Showdown. I hope you guys tuned in on Saturday on Mixer. We had a hell of a time making that for you guys. If you haven't, it's still on our channel, so go head over there and take a look at it.
That's Mixer.com.
Title's a little weird.
Yeah, title's a little weird. Don't look at the title.
Online.
It's our past broadcast. Just click that. Yes, Mixer.com. TSGG_online. Also, subscribe to us over at youtube.com/The Society. And you can get early access to us and hear all of Brennan's silence if you subscribe at patreon.com/TSGG.
A lot of it.
Silence is
And
golden.
don't forget to follow us over at Twitter at TheSocialGG. Let's start with the news first before we go into the Sekiro Showdown.
I'd want to avoid it if I was you two.
Yes, it is true. I lost. Very badly. But I had a lot of fun, though. And it is a fantastic game.
It was fun.
But we will talk more about that in a little while. Up first, a great piece of news that I am very excited about. Star Wars is getting a galaxy-wide premiere for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. So Vince Zampella, the head of Respawn Entertainment, along with many special guests, will be getting your first look at this holiday's highly anticipated action-adventure game, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. And you get to hear how Respawn and Lucasfilm collaborated on this original Star Wars story that follows a young Padawan's journey in the dark times following Order 66. And, of course, they'll have a few surprises in store. So we're getting our first gameplay look at it at the Star Wars event.
So this is the
Order
RPG, right?
66 being when Anakin killed all the children. Yes.
Well, that was part of it, yeah. Order 66 was sent down by the senator, I believe, at the time, turned ruler of the Empire, Emperor. Sith Lord Darth Sidious. I am so sorry, all you Star Wars fans out there, for butchering this, but it's
I don't think he's
Brennan's fault.
Sidious, is he?
Please
I thought
don't
he was
spend-
polite.
No,
don't
that
flame
was,
us
that
too
was
hard.
his mentor.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, there was a theory that he was, but it was never confirmed. But he is Darth Sidious.
Gotcha.
Anyway, that's going to happen, and I'm super pumped for it. I cannot wait to see that game.
Revan's
That is
back.
the RPG one, right?
Yes, that
Well.
Respawn is doing.
Action adventure is how they...
Action adventure, yeah, technically.
It's
Hopefully it'll have some RPG elements, but...
Yeah, but
well,
it's-
they also called God of War Action Adventure, so
Yeah, they did.
our RPG elements will definitely be there. You can pretty much bet on that.
Would you like to know if Battle Royale games are successful if they're free to play?
Are they?
They are.
Oh my god.
$92 million in revenue is what Apex has made since it's been released.
For a free game.
It's a free-to-play game,
Battle
and the
Pass
Battle
just
Pass
came
wasn't even out yet.
Just came out.
I threw $10 at the Battle Pass.
Did you?
Yep.
Will
Won my first 2 games back.
He won't
Haven't
nice.
played
play
since.
it. He's not gonna be playing it.
I
He'll
got
be back.
Sekiro.
Sekiro is.
You'll be back.
When I knew
No.
game 12, Sekiro maybe. So 3 years from now.
Did you expect Sekiro to be this good?
No, I did not.
No.
I was wrong.
So yeah, $92 million
That sound-
for a free-to-play game.
That's recorded.
It's very rare. You're welcome.
We're gonna make it a little clip.
Yep.
Yep. Also,
Nobody wants to talk about Apex anymore, Kev. We just
No,
want
okay,
to
that's
talk about
pretty Apex. I mean, that's-
I still love Apex. So
$92 million.
$92 million, that's incredible, man.
That's insane.
that's in
Okay,
one
so as
month.
far as
it's
they-
a free-to-play
they took a-
game, and its opening month
They took
made
a
$92
huge
million.
gamble. They kept it under wraps the whole time. They said, "Here, come play this game."
I don't know if it's a gamble now.
Well, it was.
Well, they also had
Gotta hide that EA association.
something they
Right, but-
didn't really discuss either. Is they had like the
Otherwise they'd
top
catch hate.
players, battle royale players, playing this game 10 months ago to make sure that the game that they released was beautiful. So Shroud was actually talking about this on his stream, how they had Octane in the game 10 months ago when he was playing it, and he gave them his thoughts on the character then, and they listened and they critiqued him, and he said the one that is now is completely different from the Octane that was in the game 10 months ago.
Octane is super good, by the way.
So the way that they've done this is just so well done, and they took actual gamers and said, "What do you think of this game?" and then took their feedback and actually acted on it. So it was
What a shock
really
that
good
actually
sign.
works.
super well
So
done.
that's what I was saying. They took a huge gamble on the game. Obviously, they knew that they were making it, but in the investment purposes, saying they did no promotion
No marketing whatsoever.
at all. So that saved them a ton of money. And
they had a
took
little press conference 15 minutes before.
Yeah.
They,
And then-
all right, let's not. No.
But
They
then-
did marketing. They did it different.
yeah,
They paid
they
top
didn't.
streamers
Well,
to
yeah,
go
but
play the game.
that was when it opened.
They didn't
That
do.
was their
There was
marketing
no,
strategy.
Pre-game.
But they didn't do
kind of
like
thing.
say with what the
Commercial.
original
Generally,
Destiny did,
marketing
where
is
they spent how
prior
many
to
millions of
release.
dollars for Destiny on promoting.
I think it was around 100.
I think the commercial cost $45.
Yeah,
The
so
Destiny commercial was insane.
so to put that in
Jesus.
perspective, what they did for marketing was incredible, and they did it
Yeah.
right.
They didn't do any
So-
pre-launch
Yeah.
marketing.
I mean, they only threw a couple million at it anyway for the streamers. So
Yeah, but they're marketing it
So
hard now.
Their return on investment was incredible.
now they get all this money. Might as
Yeah.
well.
All they had to do is just collect everybody's attention, and then here you go. Here's this fun game to
And
play.
yeah, that
they've
was
actually kind
before
of-
Battle Pass. So now imagine what next month is going to be.
Well,
Yeah,
they're-
I'd be really
Yeah.
interested to see what
Now
the
what
returns
they're
are.
doing is they're actually sponsoring their Battle Pass sponsoring streamers now. So like players that, and not only like the big streamers like Doc and Shroud, they're not the only ones getting it. Like Dizzy, who came on the scene with this game, he is now
Well, that's 'cause he's
an Apex sponsor.
a god of Apex. So
So they're
Well-
still sticking with that, and they're having the streamers do the marketing for them, and it's also super beneficial for the streamers because obviously they're getting paid
And growing.
100K
Oh yeah.
and growing. Yeah, their actual base is growing as well, which as a streamer is your most important thing, your basic source of income.
So it's definitely shifted the paradigm a bit on how video game entertainment companies can work out mutually beneficial relationships.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
think about
really
it.
good.
How much TV do you really watch at this point? Do
Right.
commercials really impact that many gamers?
No.
I know in our
I
house
stream all my stuff.
we only have streaming. We have Hulu, which has commercials sometimes, but I'm not paying attention to those.
I
So
don't watch.
I mean,
A lot
we
of
have it-
people have cut the cord.
We
Yeah,
have it
if you will.
on at my job, but that's mostly because we can't leave.
Right.
And we have to be able to watch the news. So in between the hours of starting between news and news, I have to fill it with something. So I've seen a couple commercials. And I said this before, the Anthem's commercial didn't really impress me at all. But my coworker who does not game
that
but wants to
music.
game, he was like, "Oh, the Division 2 looks so cool." I'm like, really? Of all people, I didn't expect him to be even remotely interested in that. So I
Right.
thought that was pretty interesting. And that was just from watching the commercials that come on at our regular intervals. But in general, nobody really does watch TV anymore.
Yeah. And just $92 million in a month. That's amazing.
before the Battle Pass, that's the biggest
Before.
part of this.
Yeah.
So the Battle Pass
And they're
came
only
out
going
3
up from
days
here.
ago. Let's see where those numbers go.
and it's $10 or it's $38.
Yeah.
So
The,
a lot of people are going to go for the 38.
oh, of course.
You
Yeah,
get
the-
25 levels for free. So
Yeah. Well, not even then. You can also buy levels. So if you don't have the time to play, but you really want that skin that's level 38, you can spend Apex coins to buy levels. So you can spend real money to do it. So
So people are going to be getting coins too.
yeah, without a doubt, you will.
well, you need to buy the coins to buy the battle pass.
Oh, is that how it is? You just can't straight up buy it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I haven't jumped in since the Battle Pass has been released, just because I haven't had the time. Playing Anthem and now playing Sekiro. I'm going to be all over Sekiro for a while now.
It'll take you a while.
Such a good game.
The shade
I mean,
that little smirk that he has.
it's going to take most players a while.
is going to take
Yeah,
everybody. It took me
Twitter, they find it hard.
Oh yeah, there are big.
I was actually
time
talking to a bunch of
YouTubers
people about
and
it on
streamers
Twitter.
that are quitting it. They're like,
Yeah. Oh, people are not going to finish this game.
they
That's-
said, I don't have time. It's too hard. I can't beat it.
It reminds me of the Demon Souls days when it became super popular and everybody was like, I'll play it. I'm not playing this.
That is exactly how Demon Souls went.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty sure
And then
you and
that's
I
what
had that
launched Dark Souls
conversation. You're
popularity.
like, here's this impossible game. I'm like, we'll see what it does. I'm like, nope, my skill level is not high enough to do anything with this.
Really good game, though.
It's anyway. Go.
Honestly,
We'll talk about it when
We're
going to
talk about
Yeah,
Sekiro
yeah, you're right.
later.
Yeah.
That's
you're right. You're right.
And just so you listeners are aware, this is how good the game is. We can't even get through the news without talking about Sekiro. What a game. So today is March 25th as a date of this recording, and it is the first anything we've heard from Sony since E3 2018.
God, Sekiro's only been out 3 days.
Yes.
That's where all my time has been.
Yeah.
I think I have 40 hours in the game.
Like I said, most players don't have your guys' commitment levels because they can't be
Sleep is for the weak.
lizards.
That's my
As
only
is food
comment.
and drink.
Oh, my lizard and I were awake together. We did have conversation. She is nocturnal.
Brief
She
hallucination.
just looked at me, watched me, and I was like,
But yeah,
I
it's-
don't know why I'm awake either.
Definitely been a while since we heard from Sony.
Yeah.
Tell us about what they talked about.
So today was their new broadcast that they have titled State of Play. And this is the first of many
Okay.
that they're going to have. And this is basically a Nintendo Direct, but for PlayStation. And it followed
I'd
suit.
actually like Xbox to
It
also
went-
copy that because
You don't like
Hey.
the Inside Xbox where they do panels and
Yeah,
stuff?
I mean
do
I
that.
do, but
Just
they don't
short-
have
little
them
short,
frequently.
Ac-
Short and to the
Xbox
point.
18.
Well, they do it like once a month, right?
Oh,
Inside
inside
Xbox?
Xbox. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not as.
It's not like that.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
Inside
event
Xbox
stuff
is like-
rather than
What I liked about
yeah,
this was that
games.
it was short and to the point, and it gave us real information.
I prefer lengthy stuff because I like to watch it while playing video games. 'Cause, like, so that's
I
honestly,
was
I prefer
doing that.
longer stuff.
I was doing that while playing, and then it ended, and I was like, dude, that was like 5 seconds. What is this?
It was about a half hour.
Yeah.
Well, in Sekiro
20
time,
minutes.
that's about 5 seconds. You
Yeah,
lose
that's true.
yourself.
So
But this style of broadcast and the Nintendo Direct style is about getting the maximum amount of information they can cram into 20 to 30 minutes. So it's not something like an Inside Xbox where they dive deep into panels and stuff like that and they're discussing
Right.
things. It's announcement after announcement.
Right, and that's
Until
what I was
the end.
talking about. That's what
So,
I want Xbox
Yeah,
to do.
Inside
I
Xbox
like
just
that
does their-
too, but this I thought was better just to get the information out. Then I don't have to sit and dig through stuff
Right.
or listen. I can just get everything all at once.
They're taking intensely detailed notes.
And from Sony's standpoint too, why not? It's cheap. You can do it from your own studio, and you're live streaming it, so you don't have to pay for it. So it makes sense. It's why Nintendo did it. So I don't have. If you can get the views on your live stream, why not? It's definitely worthwhile.
They would get
Yeah.
paid for the viewership, wouldn't they? For people tuning in.
I don't know how that works with like big companies. I would think so. Like
Yeah, I'm
through
not going
YouTube.
into that.
They
No.
probably work it out with the
There's
streaming.
something going on there. But so the State of Play happened. I'm just going to go down the list of the titles that we saw today. And then
I'm gonna be real snarky the whole time he
we'll
goes down this
have
list.
a discussion after it. Definitely a huge VR focus in this.
Boo.
Everything that was listed, though, positive for it, is coming out this year. So
Or
that's
soon.
nice.
I like that they
or
gave
very
dates,
soon.
which is
That's
rare.
also following the Nintendo Direct. They usually, whenever they do a Direct, it's
Hey,
within
here
a
it
couple
is, and
months.
It's out tomorrow.
So up first, we had a surprise reveal for Iron Man VR, which is coming out in 2019. Then we got Crash Team Racing, which is coming out June 21st.
We knew about that one.
Yeah,
too.
we
Yeah,
knew
they've
about
been
that.
talking
They
about
just
that
showed off a
forever.
little bit more. No Man's Sky Beyond had their update shown, which we've already reported on that, and it's going to be
that's
free. But what's new is that No Man's Sky is going to be playable in VR, which is really cool. Ready, Set, Heroes is the
Disorienting.
first brand new game that we saw today. And that's a dungeon crawler / competitive online game that's coming out this year. Basically, you have a team and you're crawling through the dungeons, think Diablo, and then
Mixed with
you're
like,
going against another team that's crawling through this dungeon, and the first one to the end gets points, and then you have an all-out battle. For
so
loot.
like Diablo
That's an
mixed with
interesting
Heroes of
concept.
the Storm.
Yeah. Up next, they did the PSVR title Blood and Truth, which is coming out May 28th.
That's horror, right?
No, that was the London action game.
Oh yeah.
Then they did a VR montage, which was 5 or 6 titles, all slated for 2019. You can check this event out if you want to see more about those, but it's just more VR stuff that's coming. And then they debuted a brand new game called Observation, which had the best visuals of the day, I will say. And that was a outer space type game. It looks like you were in a space station itself, exploring it, trying to save it or something.
Prey, actually.
And that's actually coming out May 21st. So that's really cool.
It's a good thing to be reminded of.
Rage 2 comes out like the same day though, so
Yeah, it's completely different though. So
yeah, but I mean, I'm buying Rage 2.
yeah, I don't blame you. Then they showed Five Nights at Freddy's VR. And that's coming spring 2019, and
Is it
Brennon
bad?
can't
I
wait for that.
Never figured out how to play that game on my phone. I didn't understand what was happening. Do you just check the screens?
Not really sure. I never played it. A lot of streamers are going to love this one. Then they showed the game that I was looking forward to, Concrete Genie, and that's now fully voiced from the other trailers that we've seen.
Game
Has a
only
full story.
Kevin's looking forward to.
No, it looked really pretty.
Yeah.
I was actually pretty excited for
It's
this
coming
game.
out fall 2019, and they confirmed a VR mode for that as well.
I'm glad that they're doing a lot of support for VR, but I'm personally not interested in buying one until
Yeah,
Next
aren't they
gen.
coming out with
PS5?
a new one. That's
Yeah.
my.
It's
that's my
rumored,
question.
like nothing's confirmed, but it's rumored that the 2.0 version of VR for next gen will
You
have
mean Rift?
wireless capability and new controllers, getting away from those motion controllers, which are
That
PS3
would
era.
be so nice.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
Like,
don't
if
like.
they had like the actual new ones, like they're just the
Especially with,
handhelds with the
and
triggers.
See,
Was
one of
it
our problems with
Oculus?
the other
Yes.
Yes.
The Oculus has
PSVR
such
that
good
we've used
controls.
before was that the frame on our 4K TV is too thin to clip to. You have to be very careful, and it's not very stable when you're attaching it because it comes down too far. And I don't want to touch the screen,
Right.
but there's really
Naturally.
no frame to adhere it to.
Right.
So
Get a better TV. Says Sony,
An older
Yeah.
TV.
the
actually.
person
yeah,
who hates
get
They'll
an
say-
older TV
yeah,
with a
they'll
bigger
say mount
frame.
it somewhere
So
else.
Play on an Xbox then, pleb.
Yeah, VR is
Without
great on
VR.
Xbox.
That was his
That
point,
was
Kevin.
entirely my point.
Whatever.
So that's my question though. Like, if I'm gonna spend all the money on all these VR titles, and you're gonna come out with a brand new VR system in 6 months that doesn't run my VR, I'm gonna be frustrated
They
with
should. If they
But
do,
you don't know if they're doing
yeah,
it.
exactly. If they do
But-
come
'cause
out
it's
with a
not-
new
it's
one,
not
they,
that. It'll be
confirmed.
PS4, and they don't do backwards compatibility.
they,
so.
Well, they never
they're
did, but we don't know what they're doing.
correct.
And
And,
that's
they
what I
did.
mean.
and
There's so
because
much
the
get
other
the,
and because the other VR set's not confirmed yet either, even though they've patented the technology, doesn't mean that they're going to make it.
Right, but that's my concern.
They did-
Is
But I don't want to
I don't
spend
know.
hundreds of
Yeah,
dollars on a
exactly.
piece of equipment that I can't.
that is obsolete in 7 months. That's like
They did trademark the thing for backwards compatibility for the
They
next
did.
thing.
Yeah, I
so
know.
that's
yeah.
it
But that's
is
what I
true.
mean,
They get a
like,
lot of trademarks and don't use them, but
We just don't know. So
in
I
this
don't
case, hopefully, they
This is
We just
concerning
don't
to
know.
me because they
For all we know, PS5 is a streaming service.
continue on.
We
with
don't.
the-
I mean,
all
that
right,
is the
let's not
future,
even-
I
right?
do have information.
Never
that
mind.
I want to
We'll
talk
talk about that another time. I'm trying to get through this list.
Sorry, I know you're rushing it.
Okay.
I just want to discuss because I have discussions for this, but you have to get through the games list first.
Yeah,
Oh, I only got 2 to go,
I know.
so I think I can.
biting my tongue.
10,
Hurry up.
15 minutes.
After Concrete Genie, which looks fantastic.
It does.
If you don't know anything about that game, go check it out.
We saw it at E3.
I love interesting things, and this is a very interesting game. And I've been wondering when it was coming out, because we've seen a few gameplay trailers of this and showcases, and it's just like it kind of went dark for a while, but I'm glad to see it's now fully voiced and has a story and everything. So fall 2019 for that one. Then Sony Bend Studio came out and showed Days Gone, and
New stuff.
it's actually looking very polished now, and it's very story focused. Yes, it is another zombie shooter. Do we need one? Who knows?
They are a little bit different, though. They're not called
facial
zombies
animations.
in this one.
Facial
called-
animations looked really good in that.
Yes.
Freakers. I don't know
Which
if
I
they
think they
are
probably could've-
zombies or cannibals or what.
Yeah, we don't really know.
Because they're not called zombies. They're freakers.
Yeah, they're freakers, and then
I mean,
there was some.
They
be
should have picked a
fair,
better name for them.
In The Walking
Not gonna
Dead,
lie.
they're called walkers. So
Yeah,
they're still
but-
zombies.
Yeah, so is it a virus? Is it a chemical thing?
Yeah, who knows?
Is it a mushroom
But
that grows
I think
out of
it's-
them?
I'm more interested in the fact that it looks like it has a compelling story to go
Yeah,
along
it
with
is.
it. So
I'm thinking like it's probably something chemical related, because they also showed a monster called a breaker, which was a humongous
Zombie.
Yeah, but they're doing wrestling moves and stuff, so don't really think they're just brainless
they said
zombies.
they
But
said
to
something
be
about they
fair,
eat the flesh of other
Most
humans.
of
So.
these horde games, they have the different variants. Like they have the bigger ones who you have to play smarter with. The
Those suck
faster
in State of
ones.
Decay, actually.
Yep, the huge ones in State of Decay do suck. They take all your bullets, even if you shoot them in the face. But yeah, so generally they have
Seems
variants
realistic.
like that.
Yeah.
I must say I'm actually excited about this game now, and I will be getting it.
And that comes out
That
April
review will be
26th,
April
right?
26th.
April 27th. Kevin.
No, it will not. And then they finished off the show with a surprise to me, which was MK11. I was not expecting that at all, and it is probably the best trailer we've seen for this game. A lot of detail in there, including the announcements for Jax, Kung Lao, and Liu Kang. And we saw Liu Kang's fatality. Wow. I don't know if it was just a cinematic or if it's his actual fatality, which was an animality. Dragon, he's my man.
Who could have predicted that? I did
I'm
6
just
months
saying,
ago.
I predicted that we would see the younger and older
Yeah.
versions of that.
You were totally right.
By the way, did you guys see Kotal Khan?
Yeah.
That was sick.
Yeah, Kotal Khan's announcement trailer where he got destroyed by Jackie Briggs was awesome.
Yeah.
More important, where he came in as a Jaguar. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Right, that was.
I'm
So
hoping
there's
that's
another
an
tease right there for the
animality.
animality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
So you
But
get
yeah,
to see a little
that's-
bit more of Garrus as well.
Yeah, Gearus.
The one new
Oh,
character.
the trailer. Did you see the title of the trailer?
No, what was it?
Because NetherRealm also posted it after. It's called Old School versus New School.
The
So,
music that
there
they
you
were
go.
playing in the
Take it
back,
home.
Right.
the music that they were playing in the background was
Yeah.
wholly appropriate.
Yes, it was. It was perfect.
But yeah, Gearus looked pretty awesome in that. So
And the look
Go
on
watch
their
the trailer.
faces, they're like, "Wait, what?" Because
yeah,
it's like
Kung
that was
Lao
easy.
throws his hat, cuts his head off, and he falls and he goes, "Oh, that was too easy." And Gearus reverses time.
And they're like,
And then
"Wait,
they have a bad day.
what?"
So yeah, that's coming out April 23rd, and we will be doing our unboxing of the collector's edition of that, and we will be doing our MK tournament and live streams and reviews of MK.
Simultaneous.
We will have
Lots of MK coming.
we'll have more information on that as we get more details. But
But that was
Expect
the
that to be
entire event
soon.
of the State of Play. But while we're talking about MK, I just want to do a little bit of more news about MK, because they also were at the Chicago C2 E2.
say that 5 times fast.
Yeah, the what?
C2E2, Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo.
Whoa.
They did a 1-hour developer panel, and there they announced Noob Saibot.
My man.
He looks amazing.
He is my man.
And they also did the teaser for The Crypt, a little cinematic, where they revealed Shang Tsung, and he's voiced and modeled, as I called it, by Kerry Tagawa, and he is the first DLC character in the season pass.
He looks
Weirdly,
awesome.
we're pretty good at these prediction things.
Yeah.
Strange how that worked.
And probably, if the news
We
couldn't be any
literally
better,
just picked MK apart. Like everything they were hiding, we just knew.
we did.
Gee, it's
Kevin
not
knew
like
Shao
someone's
Kahn
not
was
a
coming
super
6
I
years
knew
in
it.
advance.
I did. I think the best news for me, because I was getting concerned with all the custom variations and all the items and all that sort of thing, and then the crypt, not knowing what it is, and then NetherRealm saying, yes, the crypt is different this time. In today's gaming,
You were worried
You immediately
microtransactions.
lean towards microtransactions, and at the end of this event, they opened it up to questions. One of the people asked if there was going to be loot boxes in this game, and Ed Boon said, absolutely not. There will be no loot
Yay,
boxes.
Ed Boon, our hero.
Doesn't mean there's not going to be microtransactions, but at least we don't have to worry about the dreaded loot box.
Yep.
And now for our final piece of news today. IGN has put out news of a game that I had no idea was coming. It's scheduled for 2021. The Lord of the Rings Gollum.
Oh,
Well,
I just can't wait to bite someone's finger off.
It's a narrative-focused adventure game that centers around the dual personality Gollum.
close to home, Brennan.
And this is not based
This is
off
literally
of
Brennan.
I
the
love
movies.
Lord
This
of
is
the
based
Rings.
off of the books.
I think I'm more Samwise Gamgee though.
GMG.
GMG.
Whatever.
I'm
not
very
the
excited.
This is
I
gonna be
very much
interesting.
enjoy
You
Lord of
wouldn't
the Rings.
suspect me of eating all the bread?
The cutscenes in this are all I want to see.
It's just me scribbling around the floor.
Do I get to argue with myself? Is that a thing?
I don't know.
I pick an answer and then the AI picks an answer from the other side of my brain.
Datalic Games is making this. And they said that this is going to release in 2021 on PC and, in quotations, all relevant console platforms at that time.
Oh,
Mad Box.
there's
They said
some there's some
relevant.
there's
Yes.
some shade there.
Not you, Stadia.
Oh, shots fired.
No relevance.
Yeah. We'll see.
Hopefully not.
I hope you're right. So that's it for news this week. Now
not a
let's get
console.
into the Sekiro Showdown
No,
where
no,
I
no.
annihilated
Nobody.
Let's talk about State of Play real quick.
Okay.
Got
Because I have
super-
some thoughts. Because they've been dark forever, right?
Regale
Okay.
us.
All right.
You expected more.
No, well, they gave us a lot
With dates.
with dates, which is a very nice change for Sony.
Yeah, I was pretty excited
But-
about that.
They gave us nothing of the games that we wanted to see. So where's Dreams?
Death
which
Stranding.
was supposed to be early 2019.
February.
So if you
2019,
count
in fact.
the 6 titles,
The VR titles. The VR montage, is that what you're talking
Can
about?
we just talk about Iron Man for just one second?
I already
If there's
have
any
16
if there's
games.
Iron
any
Man Simulator,
if there's
it's Ant.
any game
not wrong.
that I want to play in VR, I want to play Iron Man. Is that just if it's done well, if it's got the mechanics like Anthem has,
it will not.
I know. But if it played like Anthem suits play, but with a VR headset, that'd be fucking awesome.
Yes,
It would, but it's not going to be that.
No
It
chance.
took 6 years, 6
I
years to
know,
get that
I
play
know.
style down. That's why we don't have any armor.
Oh,
Yikes.
But you can fly really nicely.
You
Right.
are not wrong.
and the textures are fantastic.
That's true too.
Anyway,
Anyways, no Dreams,
No dreams.
no Ghosts,
No ghosts.
no Death Stranding.
No Death Stranding.
No
Actually,
Last of Us
you
2.
know what?
Listen,
I do have a little bit of news about Death Stranding.
I
It
anticipate you're
is,
going to
in
hear more
fact,
about
a
those.
movie.
No. So developers, I don't know what you guys and you listeners know about the development cycle of a video game.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just load up the PC and create your game.
Mm-hmm.
There are many
So I do.
different areas you create these things.
Armchair game maker.
Death Stranding has
Best
just reached the point where Hideo Kojima has every piece of the game on the PS4 playing it now. So they have just brought everything together in the game. So it is now one piece.
So if you're EA, 2 months of bug testing and ship her out.
You ship it right out. But for the rest of the developers
I think that's being
and
generous.
publishers,
You're right.
it's probably another year or
Yep.
two out,
Yep.
That's what I would say.
which is fine.
Yeah,
Which,
as long-
take your time.
It's Kojima.
Quality.
I
Quality
believe
over-
that Kojima will release
Yeah.
a great movie.
It's going to be great.
None of us will have any idea what the fuck's going on.
Not until the
could
end.
be the
It'll
best-
all- It'll all come
No.
together.
No.
It could be the best
just
video
big
game
question
movie
mark.
ever made.
Play
We
any of the Metal
need
Gear
a
Solids.
good one.
Oh, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Old Ocelot,
we got-
young Ocelot. What the
Don't-
fuck is happening?
Don't go
That's-
there. Look, Chronica came in, ruined
You'll
everything.
just have big question marks over your head.
Yes.
Listen, as long as you enjoy the gameplay, I guess.
That's- I enjoyed Phantom
It's got
Pain.
Norman
That's
Reedus
the one
in it too,
everyone
so that's gonna be
hates,
awesome
so-
to watch him. The
Phantom Pain?
walking simulator. It's Kojima's take on Lord of the Rings.
Norman Reedus just climbing a mountain in New Zealand. What else can I watch?
And he threw the package into the volcano. And the world was saved.
Yay. But
Anyway.
Sony,
Okay, so state of play.
why did I
I
get
think
none
I
of
just
these
offended
games?
Kevin so bad.
What else was missing?
No Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
None of them.
Ghost
But
of
none of these are
Tsushima?
coming
No,
for
I
next.
mentioned
Those
that.
are all
Like
coming
Ghost.
for next gen. So I imagine.
But
these-
no, they
these
have
were
not said that.
supposedly-
They have not said that.
Okay, so they're all
2000
coming for
or-
next gen. I'm calling it now,
You're probably
and
right.
they're gonna talk about it
I
at
think
their
Last of Us 2 is
non-E3
November.
conference. That's when we're gonna see more about it.
Yeah, but we were supposed. This was supposed to be like the kickoff of their new thing. This is what we're doing. So if they had information for us, they would have had it in there.
Now
So
they're
is
they're gonna
there-
save
don't
they're gonna
think they
save
do.
it
Is
for
there
their
just nothing?
they're gonna save it
There's-
for their E3. Not Sony's not their a-thon, whatever.
Whatever they call
I don't
it.
know. They've been silent for like 9
They
months
have been.
now.
They could have given us something.
June of last year.
Any
A lot of
one
games
of
coming
those
out.
titles, and I would have been happy.
Of the 16 shown, most of them are coming out within the next 3 months.
Mhm.
Maybe that's how they're going to do
So
it, though.
you think they're going to
So
do a 3-month
That's
blocks?
what Nintendo does.
Right.
Every few months,
They
they
saw
get
how
another
well that
block.
works.
always has their like big
They do always have that one
Big-
thing they tease.
the Smash, the
Fire
Pokemon,
Emblem.
the Fire Emblem. They always have the one big game.
But this is Sony's first stab at copying Nintendo.
This is true,
So
but it just didn't have it.
Their
Although
first-
Days Gone is in
I was
here,
just going to say,
guess.
Days Gone is their big game of the first quarter.
That's just
That's
and they
disheartening.
did
I
say
just
that
want
they were
to
going to
really,
have more
I think
Days
it's gonna
Gone
do
stuff
well.
soon.
Hey.
I really do.
yeah. I think it will do well, but I want.
I'll watch you play
We
it.
know
It
Days
looks
Gone is
good, I'll
coming out.
probably
We
buy
know
it.
all
You
about
don't
it.
want to compete against yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't have to say it's coming
Yeah,
out. You
but
just
Apex.
say, "Hey, we're working on Dreams, guys. Do you
Yeah.
remember this game we told you was coming out a year and a half ago?"
I
That's
don't see.
that's what the
Dreams
next
coming
one's for.
PS4. It's
Yeah, I don't
just
think
too.
so either.
It's just
Too
like,
much.
They had an idea, and then
It was a great idea.
it was a great idea,
looks
and then
fantastic.
the idea kept growing, and now it's just like we
but it was
can't.
playable. Like
can't-
they
yeah,
showed
but
us gameplay.
They can't release a game like that and then say, "Here's PlayStation 5." Oh, they're not going to do that.
Oh,
They're not going to do that
I
because
don't know, man.
with the whole point of Dreams is for all of us to get in there and create
Yeah.
games and
create that
have
Silent
the
Hill
other
remake that
community
never came out.
play the games. And if you're trying to promote a brand new console plus this system, you don't do that. You launch the system with this.
Right.
That's
gotta
like
have
one
an
of the
anchor.
key things for a new system
Well, I think that's Ghost.
that we always have the same issue with is they come out with a handful of titles and we always say, "Where are the games?
Well,
Where are
look
the
at
games?
Switch.
Where are the games?"
Switch launched with Breath of the Wild, and then
Yeah.
it was kind of
Yeah, but I mean,
And
look
we
at
do
the
the same
look
thing
at
every
the
time. Where
do
are
you
the
remember
games?
the Do you remember the end of the PS3 cycle where they were at
Xbox
the
humans.
apex of what they could achieve with the PS3, and it looked like it was like in comparison. You always have like really shitty first versions that are like, oh, this should have been made at the end of the cycle. This game was kind of a letdown because they weren't used to creating for it, and that by the time you have the end of the cycle, you have something really impressive, but it just doesn't quite have enough to be where you want it to be, like at the launch of the next
like
system.
that Dragons game that came on PS3
Oh, no.
that you had to turn the
Oh, not the
controller
6-axis game.
So,
That's a rough one.
so
Lair.
that's kind of where we're
I
at
wanted
right
to
now
buy
with
a
this one.
PlayStation just for that game.
I'm glad you didn't.
I did not.
Is that the reason you don't like PlayStation? Because that could have done it.
Might have flavored it a little bit, but
'Cause I was so
we're
hyped
kind of
for
at
Lair.
that point right now where we've already hit the pinnacle of what they can achieve with PS4.
Yeah.
As you can see with a lot of the different games, they look wonderful, but they just don't. It's not.
Yeah, but
They're
you can't-
limited.
You can't just take a year off.
God
in
of
that-
War was
in that
pretty
same sense. You know what I mean?
Phenomenal. So,
Yeah.
The pinnacle of PlayStation 4 is God of War.
Like if you were
Nothing
gonna,
is going
Hands
to top
down.
if
that.
you're gonna do it though, don't announce this game because now.
Well, no,
and
that's
they
why
gotta keep,
they announced
gotta
it because
keep
of that.
hyping,
Like,
and
they
because
didn't
Yeah, but
realize.
they also said that it's gonna. Not. I'm not just talking about Dreams alone. I'm talking.
yeah, I'll save it for later.
If you're not releasing The Last of Us 2, which has a massive following,
We don't know that.
No,
Right
I
now it's
feel
not
like
releasing
that-
before
but the
June.
fact that we have none
I feel
of
like
this
that one's gonna be
information-
like one of the dual releases
Brennan
because
thinks it's Q4.
there are still people
this
who
year.
are going to want to play on the PS4 and they don't want to sink the money into playing on PS5 yet. So
Naturally,
again, with watching how they did it with PS3 to PS4, you had the dual releases where you had both versions that they've been developing for. I'm pretty sure we're going to be getting something similar with if they do release it this year.
That's a lot on the developers, though.
Yeah. it is.
Yeah, but they don't have any
Yeah, but
problems
they'll
doing
do
it.
Yeah,
Dreams-
especially if it's something like
They've done it before. Let's not just
Yeah.
assume they'll do it. That's,
No, I mean,
especially with the games
if I'm wrong, then I'll
nowadays,
say I'm
with what
wrong.
they'd
But
have to do.
I'm calling it right now. I think that's how they're going to do it.
You're right that they
Dreams,
most likely will.
first
do
party
something like
studio. They will have no issues if it did come out putting it on the next
that.
console
Yeah,
as well.
It's same with.
I just don't think
same
they
with
want
Ghosts,
to
that's Naughty
separate their
Dog,
player
like-
base that way. It's just something like, no way, Ghost is coming out on this. I've been saying
No.
it all along.
It's
that-
on 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That gameplay demo that we saw at E3 last year was
There's-
the only Ghosts part of that game was that demo. The rest
Yeah.
of the game is not there.
Yeah,
As soon as they add the rest of that game, it doesn't look like that anymore.
not on the
Somehow-
PS4. It
No.
doesn't.
Somehow, Santa Monica was able to make God of War stay that way, which is why that's the pinnacle of the PlayStation 4. Because watching those trailers, watching
God
any of those
War-
trailers,
God of
you
War was
know,
not what we
it's-
saw in Ghost of Tsushima. God of War was beautiful, but Ghost
Right.
of Tsushima was the next level.
Yeah.
Right,
and
and that's
you can see
why
that
we're not going to
difference.
see it on 4, because that would be doing a disservice to
Yeah.
the game.
yeah.
And
I
you
don't
can-
want to see a shitty game that should have been beautiful because they're just trying to cash in at the last second. Give me
Well, it's
a
not
good
going to look
game.
shitty.
No,
No, but,
But it
in
wouldn't look
comparison,
like that. That
if you're
looked
gonna
like a
if you're gonna
movie.
play it,
Yeah.
look at the comparison of like what could this game have looked like?
Well, Anthem
On
did the
the
same
next-
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The Anthem E3 demo is running on Xbox One X. Ain't looking like that because they put the rest of the game in,
Yep.
and then they changed it completely, so it didn't even look like that game anymore. How sad. Anyway,
Oh. So back to Sekiro.
why we didn't see Last of Us Part 2 is because we saw Days Gone.
And they're both zombie horror.
Once Days Gone's out
Well,
and
Last of Us
released,
isn't really-
then they push Last of Us.
I'm still saying they're gonna.
So if they do another one of these state of plays in June, the
This is-
main game of that will be The Last of Us.
when's E3 this year?
E3 is June.
June 23rd.
June. Yeah.
So I would expect to hear something around that time. I think they're gonna have their Sony fill in the
It's
blank.
Cyberpunk's release date.
Yeah, I believe we're going to get Cyberpunk this year too. Because when you watch that gameplay, it looks like this gen.
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
doesn't look like something that's
Well, at the same time, it doesn't have to because of
Yeah.
the setting of that game. Ghosts is nature, and you can see the differences.
At that
Cyberpunk
point,
being a city is
They
a
could
little
already
bit
play the full game, so that might
Right.
well have been the full game.
yeah. So you get a 40-minute demo versus
different.
one instance.
Yeah.
A 10-minute
I think
cutscene.
it was
Yeah.
9 minutes.
That
9 minutes. Yeah.
Ghost looks so gorgeous.
It does.
Great 9 minutes.
The
It
rice
was
fields were just like
insane.
Yeah.
Take your time and put that in next gen so it can look like that.
Yeah, I'm willing to wait for it.
So yeah, that was the state of play after months of nothing from Sony. To have this much of a VR focus, I don't know. We'll just have to see how the rest of the year plays out.
I gave
Pretty
it a
meh
I mean,
for
I
me.
gave it a C for an event.
A C
I'm-
sounds about right.
I'm still happy that they're supporting
VR.
PSVR
Yeah.
because I do want to see more games developed for VR. But they have to be not making people sick when they play it. And I know that's a huge issue with a lot of people.
Oh yeah, motion sickness is that's any VR though.
Fight
That's
through it.
hard.
If I do it with Tomb Raider, you guys can do it with VR.
You don't do it.
You're right.
Okay.
I played Tomb Raider for 2 hours. I'm like, nah, shutting that up.
Let's
Okay,
move
anyway,
on.
back to Sekiro,
Sekiro.
and
To the Sekiro
Kevin's
Showdown.
loss of honor.
Brett hosted the event, so Brett, take it away.
Okay. So we did this last Saturday enjoy our Sekiro showdown between Kevin and Brennon. Kevin was talking a little bit of trash, hoping to get in Brennon's head
Did my best to get in this.
before the show. Brennan was 0 deaths, quite a ways in, so it did not work.
Trash talking failed.
Not far.
But our totals were Brennan did actually get 2 bosses during the event, during the 3 hours that we did it, 3 hours and 20 minutes, because we didn't count the tutorial. Kevin got to the boss, but time ran out on him, so he just didn't have time to get in there. Brennan was able to kill 4 elites. Kevin got 2 of them. That was Kevin's biggest issue, was he ran into the chained ogre. If you guys have played Sekiro or paid any attention to Twitter or any social media, chained ogre is a beast, and people who have run into him are just quitting the game because they cannot deal with it.
Dash
I
left.
didn't quit.
Kevin did actually kill it.
How many deaths?
18 deaths against the ogre, 29 overall.
So you would
I
have
took
been.
that ogre down.
You did, but at what cost?
Well, Brennan's first
in the
first
stream.
3 deaths of the stream came against the chained ogre.
Yeah.
So it was the ogre is a beast. It's
Six
It
times as
was-
many deaths for Kevin.
It was 1 real death and then 1 resurrection. So it took me 2 attempts to kill
yeah.
him.
Just to be clear.
They still count. They're
Just
still
2
deaths.
beats.
with how you have it graded,
And
right?
Brennan totaled out to 14 deaths. So it wasn't too bad. That was definitely the big discrepancy was the death.
Well, if we're doing that, I only died 9 times.
yeah.
I fell 18 times to him. Just to be clear.
Yeah.
So
Anyways,
Weird
yeah,
flex,
anyway.
but okay.
in the actual enemies, Kevin did get 80 kills of regular enemies. Brennan got 132. But as we said, Brennan progressed much further just because he got past
Kevin
the
was
ogre.
bound and determined he was going to take it down.
Correct.
Yeah, it was at the ogre when I decided
The
I didn't
ogre was
care
it.
about the stream
the ogre was
anymore.
all that mattered.
And it was just me versus ogre. Brennan was already too far ahead.
Point of
And
honor. That was the
I
hill
just
he was
said
going
it
to
was
die
me
on.
and ogre time for the rest
Over
of the stream.
and over.
And I got him.
um
I was very happy.
So before deaths,
Proud
Kevin
of
had 84 points. The deaths counting as -2 each did knock him down to where he did end up, 88 points before deaths. He did end up at 30 points. Brennan had, before deaths, had 150 points. Got knocked down to 122 after deaths, but he did make it the furthest, so he did get the 10-point award. So he finished with 132 points in our Sekiro Showdown.
And
Needless to say, Brennan won.
what did you forget to do, Kevin, or didn't learn how to do?
What was that button?
The deflect button.
Oh,
Hey, what were you
Also
guys
known-
making fun of me for? Was it the training? Yeah. I think that was you guys.
That was me.
I didn't say
No,
anything.
that was him. I wasn't making fun of you.
No, I just said
He said
you weren't worried about
wasting
Kevin.
time.
Just a hint for new players. Do the training.
Definitely do the training.
Pays off.
You will learn how to block.
We are gonna have a tips and tricks video, and that was my number 1 tip. If you're in this, the game for a reason gives you a place to train, guys. Go do
hint,
it.
hint.
If the game tells you, hey, this game is really hard and you should probably use this training, go do it. It is very helpful.
It's really
So-
rare that From does that too. So
Correct.
they're really
I
throwing
mean,
us a bone
you
here.
either can learn
Yeah.
how the game works, or you
Quit.
can suffer through a lot of
Killed
rage. Maybe
18
this
times
is
by
how
an
you
ogre.
deal with some stress in your life.
No,
I gotta
no,
say
no,
that-
no. This causes some stress.
This is my most favorite event I think we've done since the
Ever.
Extra Life stuff, because that was a lot of fun too.
Mhm.
But I think I had more fun doing this, just because it was I don't know,
game.
more competitive
Yeah, that's what it was. It's
and
for the kids was for the kids.
Yep.
yeah,
This
which
was
is great.
competitive.
But
This
this is totally
was-
different. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Definitely do take the time to learn the mechanics and the skills. For our purpose, both Brennan and myself had no knowledge going into this, so we were just going through things quickly. Take your time, though. Enjoy the game. Learn the mechanics, and you will do much
gonna have
better. Why people are quitting, I really don't understand it, because if you do take your time and learn the mechanics and stuff like that, I think you're going to be able to get through this game.
There's a
don't
certain
know.
skill level.
There's
those are cut
people
off.
there's people like me who
Yeah.
aren't going to be able to do it.
I guess my best
don't even
tip for
say just
you would
people
be
like you, because this game is hard.
There
Yeah.
are potatoes with fingers out there, so you guys ain't.
I mean,
very important. Focus on the weapon movement.
It is
Focus
hard.
on the enemy weapon movement.
There is an elite that you face who is a lightning flash, and when it sparks, that's when you have to start blocking because you don't see the blade.
Yeah. Learn
It
the
is
pattern
hard.
of the enemy, and you will get through it.
how many times did
And
you die at that one?
Oh, I perfected that one.
the
He has very low posture, so if you're able to block it,
And you watched me fight him.
breaks very. No, I didn't. I heard you fight him. He was not happy at that.
So it was good that was not streaming, because language probably got a little colorful.
yeah, that was
Kept it together.
because
on
you.
stream.
So you can't.
Proud of you.
One of the
You did.
biggest things in a game like this is being patient. And if you decide that you want to take the fight to an enemy like that, which is Brennan's style, you're going to get destroyed because you cannot, if you waste the time attacking in trying not to block, you're already dead.
Doesn't work.
You're already dead. There is no time for you to react.
So
Most
learn
of the
what
game wants you to be
play.
aggressive.
Yes.
There are parts where you have to play defensive, which is a struggle for me because that's always been my play style.
That
from
guy
games is
was hard.
smack them till they're dead.
He was so fast.
So
you can
yes.
actually learn his skill.
Oh,
That's
nice.
cool.
That fast.
The lightning flash.
It's
Take your
called, I guess.
time, learn the mechanics, learn the patterns of the enemies, and yes, it is difficult, but when you take down one of these enemies that you've been struggling with, the feeling that you get is something you can only get from a game.
Right.
It
So
is worth
high
doing.
high reward.
Very high.
Oh God, yeah. I
And
put
not in the form of loot, but in the form of
Screaming to the sky.
achievement,
Literally
self-accomplishment. You
I
actually
tweeted
feel
it
like
last
you've
night. It was
accomplished something.
4:30 in the morning. I just sunk 3 hours into Genichiro, finally beat him, and I was like, I can die happy now because I will never achieve anything greater than this.
That feeling is rare in games these days, and that's why I say
So that's what I
Give
liked
it a
about the
shot.
old school games. Is like
Haven't
you didn't
felt
have a
that
save
since
point.
Dark Souls 1.
You died. You had to go redo the whole thing over again.
Yeah, I will say Dark Souls 3 was a cakewalk compared to this game.
Oh.
I disagree.
What?
Here's my take on
Listen.
that. Normal enemies, harder in Dark Souls. Bosses, harder in Sekiro.
Okay.
Elite's way harder. In
Every
Yes,
enemy
elites
was,
are harder than most of the bosses
Yes,
in
they
Sekiro.
are.
It's ridiculous. I
It's
don't
insane.
understand it, but
Because
Every
they're
enemy
elite.
in
And the
Dark
benefits
Souls
they
was
give
too
you
easy
are
for me.
much higher than the actual bosses, which is weird.
normal
No.
enemies in
Bosses.
Dark
I mean,
Souls,
I guess it makes sense if you look at it like if someone's
they hit
elite
harder.
level, they're probably going to be like if this were a social commentary, they'd be employed by the boss guy.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that the boss guy has to be
That's true.
super
that's
tough.
true.
Just you pay the guy to cover your ass.
And most of them are like you don't have to do them; it's a choice. So they make
Yeah.
them. The rewards are really great, and
7
that's
Spears of Ashina. That was a fight right there.
that. Yeah.
Not if you fought it my way.
Little cheese method.
There's some cheese
There
for
will
sure.
we will definitely be posting some videos of this.
Would you like to learn the cheese method? We may have a video for that.
They'll be there because, well,
That's the
one-
hardest
one
boss
we
in the
recorded
game I've
today.
fought. The hardest enemy by far.
The 7 Spears.
Yes, hands down.
I just whacked him.
I have to cheese anything. for
I
anything
cheesed him.
else.
So there are definitely methods, especially in your 15 to 20 deaths. You'll figure out, hey, if I do this, he can't hit me. There are definitely ways to get through the game that are easier. Brennan, how'd you kill the ninja? Oh, did you jump off the edge and he followed you and died?
Whose fault is that? I was just tactically retreating. He followed me over the edge.
So the lemming approach.
that happens.
Gotcha.
So there
does
are
happen.
there are things that happen. I tried that; it did not work. He would not follow me off the edge. I had to beat him legitimately.
By the way, I should have killed that guy like 6 times, and the game screwed me over. So I deserved something from it.
It's just the game is incredible. Honestly, it's so good. Genichiro, as tilting and as frustrating a boss fight as it is
Best boss.
one of the best boss, if not the best boss fight design, character design, everything that I've ever done in my life. And
You
it's
guys
just
got to see him in the stream. He is the first
tutorial
see.
boss.
You don't stand a chance.
Yeah, you can beat him.
People have beat him in the tutorial.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't do anything
doesn't
differently. You just have a different cutscene,
Slightly different cutscene.
Yeah.
It's not
You
worth
just
it.
kind of just get
Be like, well, you thought
backpedaled
you
a
had
little
this.
bit, and then he does it anyway.
Yeah, kind of.
Pretty much, yeah.
But
What a game, man! The cinematics, stellar.
Listen to some Japanese
So,
audio instead of the English.
what
Also super
what
good.
surprised you the most, Kev? Cinemas-
Probably the skill system and everything that's going on
So deep.
underneath the hood.
Mhm.
Because I only played it for so far the 3 hours of the stream, I can tell you it's all I've been thinking about, wanting to get back in there and to see what more of these skills are about. Because I kind of got in my own head a little bit.
wait till you get the upgrades. 'Cause
Yeah,
you
like
got
I'm not
them.
even there.
There's whole new
I got into my own
customizations that
head.
are opening up.
And I felt the time, the pressure of time, and he was Brennon was ahead of me already, so I was trying to catch up to him, which I should have just focused on my own game. That's my own issue, but I didn't when you get the pop-up screens and stuff like that, I didn't take the time to read any of that stuff because I
Right.
just wanted to get to it and start scoring points
Thanks.
because I knew I was going to get annihilated. And there were times where I'm working on an enemy and then all of a sudden a spear emerges and stabs you in the back and you're dead. You can't do anything about that.
Yep.
So, and I do like the realism of it.
Get good.
Yeah, back armor. I do like the realism of it, though, with a slash or a stab taking more than half of your health. I do like that. I appreciate that kind of system.
And it's good because it's the same for the enemies.
Right.
Like-
well, except for the bosses.
Yeah,
You're
but
sitting
like,
there, slash.
well, this is why he thinks
But it's a boss fight.
the regular enemies are easier in this game than Dark Souls, because in Dark Souls you didn't have an option like that. You could backstab them, yeah, but it was way harder. In this,
They live through a backstab, no problem.
yeah. So
Especially on New Game 12. Too strong.
So this one has that kind of, if you're good and skilled and you take your time to deflect their attacks, you can one shot most enemies pretty quickly. The deflect is just such a huge part of the game that if you can learn that
Deflect,
mechanic,
counter, and dodge counter.
yes,
Best skills you can
will
master in that game.
The Mercuri counter is it's a very hard skill to get down, but if you get it down, you're gonna basically be able to beat 85% of the game.
I did unlock that one.
Mhm.
Didn't read how to use it. Tried to use it. Died multiple times. Gave up on that, too.
Well, that one is
Any
actually
thrust enemy.
most people
You're gonna
have given
want
up
that.
on that one because it's a timing. It's
Well, that's what I meant. Like, take your time. Learn the
Yes.
mechanics.
absolutely
The
Brennan,
next time there's going to be a rematch, should be somewhere on the 1st of April. Get to see how these skills have been developed because they'll both have a lot more time put into it.
Well,
I'll be on
one
New
of
Game
us
6
will
or 7.
have 1,000 hours into it already, and the other one will probably have 8.
we are at 40. I would say
I will have
right
8.
now.
Yeah, okay. 8 total days.
Oh yeah, that's unlikely. By April 1st, what is today? The 26th.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Brennan, anything of the games really surprise you from what you were expecting to what you found?
The customization, for sure. I was worried coming into it about
Very
that.
concerned.
We didn't even talk about the prosthetics.
Without the attributes being just
Without
completely
the
removed
armor
from the
and-
game, no loot as far
Yeah.
as armor goes or weapons. Definitely
The prosthetic
much better
shocked
than I
me.
expected. It's easily my favorite game of the year so far, and
Oh, this will be my game of the year
Cyberpunk.
pick.
If Cyberpunk does not come out, it has my game of the year nomination. So
100%.
Well, it's too early for that.
no,
please.
already.
No, wait.
Mortal Kombat's not out yet.
Wait till you see this. The customization level is beyond.
It's nuts.
Like, you have the basic 10 prosthetics that then turn into 20 more prosthetics, different things. They all have different abilities. And then on top of that, we only have 3 skill books, and we didn't get the achievement for skill books yet, so we know there's more skill books in the game. Each one of those has like 8 or 10 skills.
There's ninjutsus.
Ninjutsus, we got
One.
one so far. I don't even know how many they are. We unlocked
A lot
that.
of secrets in this game.
Yeah, we unlocked that when we beat Genichiro.
So there's a lot
much.
more options for
There's
multiple playthroughs. Then?
Combat
Yeah,
arts.
yeah,
There's
100%.
passive skills. There's
Yeah, it's just
super good.
and it's insane. And it not only are there passive skills in your skill books, but there's passive skills you earn by killing enemies that you don't have to kill.
killing enemies. You can buy them from
It's
shopkeepers.
just- there's so much going on in this game.
Do
that it's
quests for
insane.
people.
The one thing I do miss is multiplayer. Not because the game is hard, but the game is very hard, but it's beatable. But because
Multiplayer would make it no fair.
it would make it very, very fun. He's right. This is why it's not in there, because
You just lock one enemy, he circles around.
that's exactly what
Backstab
it is. Because
insta-kill.
one of the fights
Instantly.
against an elite, you get an NPC, and I just abused that. I would just walk away till the NPC drew aggro.
My
and then just
NPC
whacked it.
basically killed that boss. He's talking. I just chilled, killed all the surrounding enemies.
What about the PvP element?
I'd love to wreck some kids in it.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
it
that.
would be fun. It would be there'd be a huge skill gap, I feel, because you would have the kids or the people that put in 1,000 hours in the game.
As he points to Brennan.
You point right at him.
Or you would have, who had run into, because there's not like a leveling system, so it would be very hard for them to scale who you got matched up against.
It would be
Right,
random.
You
It
would
would be
just
totally
you would-
random.
The skill gap would be massive.
Especially
Some
if
poor
they don't
kid.
have any prosthetics.
You'd
Yeah,
run
some
you
poor
have a
kid just starting.
you'd run
Brennon
into
This is my
goes in.
first. This is my first online game
You're
ever.
describing
first
Dark
time
Souls
playing.
right now.
Pretty
That's
much, yeah.
literally how it happens.
Revenant
it
Brennan
would
coming in.
just be, it would. So I don't mind that one so much, but I do. I just like the multiplayer aspect that they had in Dark Souls, where it wasn't just, you weren't just killing bosses, you were exploring, and PvPing was fun, and I do miss it.
Turtling behind Brennan as he kills everything, you know.
Yeah, that's what happened.
It is a fantastic game. There's a lot going
So
on
good.
there. I'm going to say something right now that the kids may not like so much. I'm going to say it anyway. Brennan may not like this.
Dun,
But
dun,
when
dun.
it comes to From Software titles, I find them graphically and color-wise to be dull and flat and not very appealing. This is not that.
So much of me rejects
This.
what you just said.
This is a beautiful masterpiece.
They do that on purpose. And he's
And it
right.
is so
They're all
colorful.
colorless.
There's
Black and gray.
definitely
Hey,
a
listen.
phase.
So
You look at
colorful.
From Software does the best background settings in any games ever. Ever.
No,
Hands
they
down.
just they
know.
don't.
Hands down.
They do
But
not.
there's also been
You're
trends
talking
in
about,
certain
like,
games over the
mountains and
last
stuff in the back.
Yes.
decade or so that there's like a bunch of them that do the same sort of color scheme. Especially like look at Dragon Age, everything was brown and
Yes.
red.
When the
Just
sun
dull.
becomes a dark sign in Dark Souls 3, blew my whole world. It's fantastic.
He is. So they've created worlds in their other games that they created. The stuff didn't have to make sense. Everything was dark. Everything was gray. This is Sengoku era Japan, and it's beautiful. They made it
really is.
Japan. Like
They did.
It has the look and feel. The pagodas.
Do not
the-
think
It looks
bamboo
gorgeous.
stalks break that easily.
Okay, this might be true. You cannot
You
jump
can't walk
into a
through bamboo
Yes,
stalks.
correct.
Just doesn't work.
But it's just, especially when you go back in time, it's beautiful.
It's
For
just a
humanity
It's just a higher
started
level of
destroying the
detail,
earth.
in my opinion.
It is. You're right.
I apologize
no,
to
you're right.
our resident.
No, you're
Souls
definitely
expert.
right. And the movement is. So I recently started playing Dark Souls 3 with my buddy again. The movement of Sekiro is hands and
So
bounds,
top
leaps
notch,
and
man.
bounds above
Top
it.
notch.
It's just
Well, it has to be though, because
Dark
the
Souls is
enemies-
clunky and slow.
The
honestly,
enemies are so
but I still love
fast
it.
paced and fast
Yeah.
moving, and it's when you get in a sword fight where you're deflecting and attacking at the same time, and everything's in a blink, and you don't even know what happened. And
Well, it's
suddenly you
also
can kill the
different.
guy.
So does that tie into the rewarding feeling of playing this
Oh
game?
yeah,
Yes,
without a
when you
doubt.
deflect a guy perfectly 9 times in a row
Yeah.
and stab him through the throat, you feel like a god.
and it's just sparking every time, like you perfectly deflected
and
that.
the sounds on it are like
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, it's
But,
it's so good. I have no complaints. The multiplayer is a little thing. It's not a complaint because the game doesn't need
It's just
it.
a wint.
It's
wish.
just, yeah.
A want.
I would like it.
Are we announcing a review for this?
I don't know. We can, but I don't know when we'll beat it because I don't know how long it is.
Right.
Well,
We can
it will be
Coming
forthcoming.
soon.
Yeah,
The review will come.
Be,
We're going to do one.
towards the end of the week.
So look
or
forward
the
to that.
beginning
Maybe
of
in the next
week.
couple weeks. We'll announce it when it's going to go live.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
worry. Yeah, is it game of the year? I don't know.
I think so.
The game of the year so far.
One of the
Easily.
things Wolf doesn't have is
left arm.
heart. Okay,
Okay,
what?
But
heart.
A heart?
If
Yeah.
if you want to know,
You haven't seen him.
Heart
the
is
sculptor
what it takes.
the sculptor has now
Can't
told
be
me
heartless.
my brow is less furrowed because Kuro makes me happy.
You're missing where I'm going with
I
this.
know where you're going with it.
Others may think another title is game of the year.
You're talking about cutscene simulator.
Cutscene
2.0.
Simulator to 2019.
No, as good a game as that was, no.
Cutscenes completely ruined that game for me.
100%.
The flow was absolutely
like 15 minutes
Dialogue
long.
ruined that game for me.
Yeah.
Well,
is.
that's
It's supposed to be
normal
in
for them, though.
Japanese.
I'm not 8.5 years old anymore. I
Honestly,
can't do it.
if we want to do a list this year of disappointments, that's going to be on my list.
Yeah, that won't be in my top 5.
But anyway, yeah, that's
Already isn't in my top
Sekiro,
5.
and we're gonna have a lot more on that title. So stay tuned for that,
And the rematch. Don't forget the
and
rematch.
don't forget the rematch
April
to be
1st.
scheduled Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh,
This is
my
who's
goodness. I
April,
gotta play
the
this
April
game.
Fool.
Gonna have
Go
a
put time in.
strong
This
sense
guy
of
has
deja vu.
every
I think.
prosthetic out there already. I have nothing.
We can just start at the beginning again. Not a new game. Just we'll start back at the first idle.
Oh,
and
where
then
you have
just
all
go
the
forward.
tools. So that's great.
There you go.
No, we'll start
I don't know.
brand new.
You should, but then
I'll
you
have to
guys can
create a
just
new profile then,
practice your skills.
because there's no save slots, so you
It's-
can't start a new
It's more
game.
skill based than anything anyway. It will be.
And I'm not deleting my game for you, Kevin.
Don't blame me. I wouldn't do it either.
There are
No.
40 hours in that already.
Yeah,
There's no way.
don't do it. Not worth it. But yeah, so that's Sekiro, and we'll be having another competition.
There will
Or
be
should
a
I just
boss
say
fight compilation.
we'll stream together?
There will be a boss fight compilation video going up this week.
Yes, and our tips and tricks, or
Yep.
whatever we're going to title that one. So,
TSGG
how to
tips.
survive in Sekiro
No.
for beginners.
No.
How to
How to
adapt
stomp.
to the system?
How to
No,
stomp
no,
Sekiro.
I wasn't going with that either.
Yeah, don't go there.
How to adapt to the bosses having ridiculous powers that destroy you in a heartbeat.
Insane.
And how to make
speed.
sure that you read what the skills require.
That's
Well,
Kevin's
no,
video.
you don't have a
We'll
competition.
send that one to him directly.
Yeah.
but
But that is all the time we have this week. I want to thank you guys for joining the panel, and thank you all for listening. And we'll see you next week.
see you all
See
next
ya.
time.
See you later.